They told you to chase her, to prove you're worth it, to show you care. But every time you did, she drifted further away. You gave more, she felt less. That's the paradox. The harder you try, the faster she loses interest. The quieter you become, the louder your absence feels. When you stop chasing, something inside you changes. You stop performing. You stop reacting. You stop explaining yourself. You move from need to neutrality. And that shift, she feels it instantly. It's not arrogance. It's power. The kind that doesn't beg to be seen. Women sense it. The moment your energy stops revolving around them, they feel the void. That silence, that lack of attention becomes magnetic. They start wondering what happened. What changed? Why the man who once cared so much suddenly doesn't. That curiosity grows. Because silence creates space, and space creates value. Most men think effort equals attraction. That proving yourself means love will follow. But every time you overextend, you reveal insecurity. You reveal a lack of center. Real confidence isn't loud. It's steady. It doesn't ask, "Do you like me?" It says, "I'm fine either way." That's the mindset that makes her rethink everything. Stop proving. Stop convincing. Stop chasing validation from someone who doesn't even know what they want. The moment you withdraw your energy, you regain control. You become scarce. And scarcity breeds desire. Because people always crave what they can't easily reach. You want to stand out? Don't compete for attention. Make your attention rare. Make your silence intentional. When you stop trying to be chosen, you start choosing. And that's when everything flips. You're no longer one of many. You become the one she can't read, can't predict, can't forget. She'll test you. She'll act indifferent, pretend she doesn't care. But inside, she's scanning for weakness. She's waiting to see if you'll fold. Don't. Stay still. Stay calm. Stillness is strength. Let her sit with the silence. Let her wonder what you're thinking. That uncertainty is the seed of attraction. Men who chase lose power because they trade it for approval. They hand away mystery for comfort. But a man who can walk away without anger owns himself. His value doesn't need validation. His worth doesn't shrink when ignored. That's the man she replays in her head long after the conversation ends. Understand this: when you stop wanting, you become wanted. When you stop seeking, you become sought after. That's not manipulation. It's balance. Because you're no longer trying to fill a void, you've learned to be complete on your own. Every word you don't say, every message you don't send, speaks for you. It says, "I'm at peace with or without you." And that message hits harder than any confession ever could. Because when a man becomes still, the world around him starts to move. And that's when she finally sees what she lost. Silence creates a problem she can't ignore. When you stop filling the space with explanations, her mind begins to work. Curiosity replaces comfort. Questions replace certainty. The unknown nags at her like a song she can't get out of her head. Unanswered moments become heavy. She replays your last conversation. She looks for patterns. She tries to decode a tone that no longer exists. That mental work feels like investment, and investment becomes attachment. Predictability kills intrigue. Routine turns affection into furniture you stop noticing. But when you introduce small gaps, pauses that aren't dramatic, simply intentional, you interrupt her autopilot. Disruption forces attention. Attention breeds meaning. Emotional scarcity isn't cruelty. It's a boundary. It says your time is not free currency. It says your presence must be earned. When she feels that, she either adjusts or she walks. Think of it like a game of attention economics. Supply rises, value falls. Make your attention scarce and its price goes up. She begins to negotiate unconsciously. She becomes more thoughtful about when and how she asks for you. Questions are dangerous. The mind hates unresolved threads. She will invent answers if you don't give them. She'll fill silence with possibility. That possibility often favors you because humans prefer mystery to boredom when desire is involved. You don't have to be cruel to create mystery. You can be polite, warm, available on your terms. That line between courteous and chasing is the razor edge you learn to walk. Stay kind. Stay measured. Withdraw the need, not the respect. When she can't predict your reaction, she becomes more present. She listens for cues she once ignored. She notices small things, how you move, who you spend time with, what you prioritize. Every small observation weaves a story about who you are. Ambiguity sharpens emotion. If everything is certain, emotion flattens. If outcomes are unknown, feelings intensify. That intensity is where long-term interest grows. It's not about gamesmanship. It's about cultivating an inner life compelling enough to attract curiosity. Sudden silence looks like punishment. Slow, consistent discretion looks like confidence. Change your rhythm subtly. Don't vanish, recalibrate. Let your presence become a choice she celebrates. Her attempts to regain influence will show up. She'll increase effort, mirror your energy, test the limits of your patience. That's not manipulation, it's a response to lost control. Meet it with steady boundaries, not spikes of emotion. Remember, investment is produced by effort. If she's doing the work to understand you, she's building value. If you return to old habits, you erase that labor. Protect the space you created. Let curiosity become a bridge, not a cliff. Scarcity must be authentic. False scarcity, manufactured flakiness, shows quickly. Be selective because your life is full, not because you're playing a role. Authenticity amplifies intrigue. Performance collapses it. In the end, mystery gives her room to grow toward you. It forces reflection. It turns comfort into pursuit and passive liking into active care. That's how tension becomes desire. People will push the lines you draw. They test to see if you'll fold. That's how they measure strength. Rules aren't punishment. They are protection. Boundaries instruct how you expect to be treated. When someone baits you, respond with clarity, not heat. Flat answers kill drama. Don't explain until necessary. Explanations dilute center. Fewer justifications keep your position clean. Decide what you accept and what you won't. State it once. Then act like it matters. Consistency teaches faster than speeches. People adapt to outcomes more quickly than promises. If a line is crossed, correct it calmly. Correction is coaching, not cruelty. Tests reveal character. When she provokes, she watches for patterns. React wildly and you prove instability. Stand firm and you earn respect. Stability attracts, volatility repels. Keep a life outside any relationship. Your hobbies, your circle, your goals are anchors. They hold you steady when emotions spike. A man with his own world can be generous with presence rather than desperate for it. Don't let guilt change your standards. Guilt is a lever others use. It can make you compromise value. Recognize emotional manipulation and refuse to play. Compassion is not surrender. Offer the first. Never give the second. Speak like a leader. Use short sentences. Maintain even tone. Delivery matters more than content. When your voice doesn't wobble, your authority holds. Calmness spreads. Your steadiness becomes the environment she must enter or exit. Expect tests to escalate before they settle. People push harder at resistance. That's a filter. If someone keeps choosing destructive tactics, let distance grow. Time exposes intent. Avoid bargaining for affection. Negotiating feelings in real time creates chaos. If actions don't match words, reduce access. Entering your life must be earned by consistent respect, not dramatics. Scarcity without standards is hollow. Standards without generosity are cold. Balance both. Practice small withdrawals. Reply slower. Reschedule sometimes. Show that your calendar isn't flexible for demands. Micro-choices teach more than ultimatums. They prove your presence is conditional on respect. When you correct behavior, model the alternative. Point to steadiness, honesty, and growth. People follow examples more easily than lectures. No firm boundaries will change relationships. Some deepen, some end. That's fine. Growth needs pruning. Honor those who adapt and release those who don't. Discipline is daily practice. It's a muscle you train. Small habits compound into a reliable personality. When you refuse to be reactive, you become trustworthy. Trust turns into real connection. Keep your frame like gravity, unseen but undeniable. People will either orbit or fall away. Both outcomes preserve your dignity and move you toward the life you were building anyway. Refuse to participate in drama. If someone gaslights, name it quietly and step back. Keep promises to yourself. Your integrity is a non-negotiable currency. Celebrate small wins and being consistent. Each boundary held compounds into reputation. Men respect other men who hold frame. Women respect men who hold self. The quieter your discipline, the louder its results. This is how leaders build lasting influence. Purpose reshapes desire. When a man centers his life on work, craft, and growth, his availability becomes elective. Attention given is investment, not entitlement. That shift rewires how others approach him. A clear mission clarifies values. It makes conversations purposeful and presence meaningful. Men who pursue goals over approval signal depth without claiming it. That gravity draws interest because it promises more than momentary validation. Being busy is a statement, not an excuse. It says your time is finite and therefore priced. People respond to limits. They show up with intention when they know presence costs something. That cost reveals character. Focus makes small moments sacred. A brief text feels like permission to enter your day. A short call becomes a privilege. Those micro-privileges become the currency of real attention. They make engagement deliberate rather than passive. Purpose protects your standards. It gives you reasons to say no without guilt. Declining plans isn't rejection, it's fidelity to priorities. People respect consistency when it stems from principle, not from avoidance. Lead with projects, not with praise. Invite others to contribute to your life by offering roles, not rescue missions. That turns randomness into collaboration and admiration into investment. People prefer to join a narrative that has direction. Ambition breeds selectivity. As you expand, distractions fall away. Fewer relationships survive casual treatment. Those that do prove durable because they adapt to a larger orbit. Commitments made in the context of mutual growth last longer. Presence becomes higher quality. When you are available, you are fully there. You give attention without depletion because it's chosen, not surrendered. This generosity feels rare and becomes memorable. Let your calendar be a framework, not a fortress. Schedule matter-of-factly. Protect peak hours. Guard recovery. These choices teach others your rhythm without lectures. Respect for structure is contagious. People adjust to it when they see it works. Achievement translates to allure when it's quiet. Showcase results through action, not announcement. Let your life narrate your values. Others will read that story and decide their place in it. Challenge attracts more than flattery. When you model pursuit of excellence, you invite others to rise rather than to merely receive. That dynamic turns admiration into partnership and attraction into collaboration. Don't confuse busyness with avoidance. Be engaged with purpose, not with distraction. Presence directed at growth is magnetic. Presence directed at escape is hollow. Intent shows through like water through glass. Make your standards visible in what you build. Let boundaries be obvious by your projects and your priorities. People learn quickly who you are by seeing where you place energy. Reward consistency. Small, repeated commitments outweigh grand gestures. Reliability becomes a signal of depth. When you honor your timeline, people feel safe investing in you. Finally, hold your trajectory gently. Pursue without urgency that betrays insecurity. Move toward long-term goals with patient force. That steady motion, more than sudden declarations, becomes the most compelling invitation anyone will receive. Stay committed to craft, and attraction becomes an inevitable byproduct. Your absence becomes a mirror she can't help but look into. In the space you leave, her patterns show up with clarity. Habits that once hid in noise now stand exposed. She notices how she used to hunger for attention more than connection. Distance forces honesty. Without your reaction, her tactics become visible. Flattering lines that were tests, charm that disguised avoidance, drama that masked emptiness. The quiet lets her see what she was doing when you were loudest. This reflection discomforts her because it's self-evident. When the audience disappears, performers reveal their script. Some will rewrite. Some will leave the stage. Both outcomes teach you what matters. Your stillness collects proof. It shows who adjusts to integrity and who clings to habit. Those who adapt demonstrate willingness to grow. Those who cling reveal static priorities. You owe your peace to the former and your distance to the latter. Let consequence be the language of correction. Don't rant. Don't beg. Let your choices speak. If respect is absent, withdraw time. If honesty is missing, limit access. Consequences are not weapons. They are definitions of worth. Teach by example, not by demonstration. Model steadiness in small things. Show up when you say you will. Keep your word about simple commitments. Small consistency accumulates into an identity that others can rely on or reject. Release guilt as a decision maker. Guilt is an emotional tax paid to opinion. Use it sparingly. Make decisions that align with your values, not with immediate approval. The less you negotiate your boundaries, the clearer your life's shape becomes. Watch for emotional inflation. When someone who once took you for granted suddenly values you, check whether value is new or merely reactive. Real change sustains through calm, not through sporadic intensity. Reward steady growth, not sudden panic. Teach patience by withholding quick fixes. Don't rush into reconciliation to soothe discomfort. If behavior requires change, let it change slowly. Rushed forgiveness invites relapse. Deliberate acceptance invites transformation. Hold compassion without collapse. You can care without conceding. Offer empathy but keep limits intact. Compassion is not abandonment of standards. It's a way to stay humane while remaining immovable where it counts. Measure commitment by actions, not words. Listen for consistency across time. Words are cheap. Habit is revealing. When intentions translate into routines, trust grows. Until then, maintain healthy distance. Let the boundary be obvious but unemotional. Make your rules simple and your enforcement predictable. People learn patterns faster than philosophy. If you keep one rule and bend another, you teach confusion. Recognize when pruning is required. Some relationships exist to be trimmed. Growth demands choices that clear space. Let go of ties that require constant negotiation of your dignity. Celebrate those who rise. When someone meets your standard, reciprocate with genuine presence. Show up fully for the people who earn it. Presence given by choice multiplies value for both of you. Use solitude as calibration. Time alone sharpens your center. It reminds you why boundaries exist and what you won't trade. Solitude is not punishment, it's rehearsal for integrity. Remember that holding frame is a long game. Each boundary kept is a deposit in reputation. Over time, the ledger balances in favor of respect. Your life becomes an ecosystem that nurtures those aligned with it and repels the rest. Stand quiet, stand firm. In that quiet, the truth reveals who belongs. You stop chasing to become whole, not to punish someone. Stillness becomes a lesson when it's lived, not deployed. Peace isn't passive, it's the result of choices you make every day. When you live by your own standards, you don't need validation from anyone's applause. Leaving emptiness behind rewires memory. Absence sharpens what presence once blurred. The man who keeps his center turns scarcity into a quiet architecture that supports honest connection. Respect grows in the soil of consistency, not in explosive declarations. When she remembers you, it's the pattern she feels, not the performance. A lasting impact comes from steady habits more than dramatic gestures. If your calm taught anything, it taught endurance over impulse. You don't withdraw to win, you withdraw to remain worthy of what you allow in. Legacy is built by holding to what matters under pressure. Every boundary preserved becomes part of your reputation ledger. Over time, small choices compound into an immovable identity. Your peace becomes a scale by which future partners weigh themselves. People adjust when they sense standards are non-negotiable. The woman who returns must return differently, otherwise nothing changes. True transformation requires sustained effort, not a single apology. You reward growth with presence and ignore theatrics. The memory you leave should be useful, not merely painful. Teach through integrity, that's the only persuasion that lasts. If you forgive too quickly, you teach volatility is acceptable. Patience with change filters those committed to becoming better. The measure of maturity is who stays when the novelty fades. Long-term attraction is a function of trust over time. What you preserve in solitude becomes your compass in company. Your life must reflect priorities, Otherwise your words are empty. When people see you choose yourself, some respect pleases and others panic. The ones who panic prove they were tuned to your drama, not to your value. You fix your attention on growth and let others rearrange around it. Don't confuse scarcity with aloofness. Be present where commitment exists. Keep generosity limited to those who reciprocate consistently. Generosity without discernment erodes the very character you protect. Protecting peace is not cruelty, it's stewardship over your future. Your silent standards will attract those who match rather than demand. Make your exit graceful and irreversible when patterns repeat. A graceful departure is a final lesson in dignity. Let reverence replace resentment in the memory you create. Stand for standards and you become a stable reference point for others. The work you do on yourself is the only inheritance worth leaving. People may resent what you hold, yet secretly admire its firmness. Time reveals who adapted and who merely performed. Carry on with the quiet work, history rewards the steady. In the end, you want to be the man who modeled composure rather than the one who begged for it. That is the legacy that outlasts desire and teaches wisdom. Keep faith in yourself. Time compounds discipline into attraction, and character becomes the quiet currency of every real bond. Always